Texas A&M Aggies, man, just holding strong at 3. Looks like one of the best teams in college football, especially when they're at their best. Big one this week against Texas, but I don't see a world where A&M's not number 3.
Yeah, for sure. They'll definitely stay there, I think. And going back to what you said about Indiana and Ohio State, I think even if Ohio State loses, I think for them to not be in the Big Ten title game, for it not to be Indiana, Ohio State, I think Indiana and Washington would have to lose. So that's looking like it. But, yeah, Texas A&M coming off an impressive marquee win against Samford this weekend. Now headed to Austin for the season finale. Does Texas being the second-best team the Aggies have played this season give you any concern about this weekend and maybe just in general for Texas A&M as they go through the postseason?
Dude, yeah, maybe it's just me being the A&M guy for a lot of this year that has me feeling heebie-jeebies about it. Like, the line's 2.5, and it's in Austin. Texas is still playing to try and find their way into the college football playoff field. Like, that's what you say internally, but I think most people on the outside looking in understand Texas is probably not going to be a playoff team, barring some madness. So you have Texas with house money. You have A&M in a spot where they're on the road and they've shown they're human. I still think A&M wins. I still think A&M covers. I still think A&M's a problem when they get to the college football playoff. But the spot in general has so many things about it on top of the rivalry weekend of it all, on top of it being a short week with it being played on Black Friday. Like, there's a lot here that makes me feel weird about this game, which should make for an awesome football game. But I think this is going to be a really good test, a really good under-the-hood check here on A&M, as if they needed something like that after the South Carolina game.
Yeah, I was about to say, we talk about the heavy bar a lot in this show, and A&M really hasn't been under it since Notre Dame, but they've put themselves under it several times, whether it's the South Carolina first half, playing in a shootout against Arkansas. Like, they've put themselves in some tough situations against SEC teams who might not have the most wins in the world, but still have talented rosters. So I think I get what you're saying about the spot specifically, but I think as far as heavy bar goes, I mean, them in the Indianas and the Ohio States of the world, like, they could use as many good matchups before the playoff starts as they can. So I'm not worried about them. I think I'd be more worried if Texas's defense had showed up the last couple weeks. They just haven't showed up, and I don't think it could be a rivalry game, home field to your back. Maybe you can get that stadium pulse up on Marcel Reed and find them in a compromised position, but it's nothing they didn't face last week or 2 weeks ago as far as the deficit. So I think A&M's fine, and I think also if you have any coach outside of a Mike Elko who seems to have his guys extremely dialed culturally within the program, I think they're fine. I'm not too worried about these graphics we're seeing now about A&M playing the bottom half of the SEC and all this stuff. I think they'll still be ready for this one, good in this one, and then SEC championship and playoff. I think I still feel good about the Aggies.
We have a conversation with Aaron Murray coming out here on Thanksgiving. So if you're worried about us not having content for you on Thanksgiving, don't worry anymore. It's a great conversation. A lot of good ball talk with Aaron. We talk about A&M Texas, and the point that he made about the line of scrimmage and how poor Texas has been on the offensive side of the ball, protecting Arch, and then Cassius Howell and what he's been off the edge, and then A&M's ability to run the football. There's so many things we're in the trenches, kind of going back to our game preview we have coming out tomorrow. The fact that favors A&M so heavily kind of gives me this exhale around that spot being weird.
Yeah, and I think A&M has just been so much more complimentary than Texas. Like, Texas, Arch is playing good, just in time for their defense to be giving up 30, 40 points in some of these games.
Dude,
their special teams has been the only thing that's bailed them out of certain situations with some niblet returns, helping them in the Kentucky game and the Mississippi State game. To me, A&M's just more well-trained, and normally we've seen certain drastic situations, but normally even if the offense is having a slow day, that's when Cassius Howell and those guys in that front seven and Torian York are wreaking havoc and making things hard for the other team. It's very rare that all things aren't working out for A&M.
Yeah.
And we saw that in 1.5 against South Carolina, and then second half we see the glass half full of that and what they can be. Texas has just been the opposite, man. I think I get people are trying to make this Texas campaign for if they win this game, they should be in the playoff. I think even if they win this game, they just haven't shown me anything. It has nothing to do with their losses. We want you to go play Ohio State. We love that for college football, and we want to reward y'all for that game. If you're not in the playoff, it's not because you lost to Ohio State. It's because you kept it close with so many other teams that we know aren't very good throughout the year, and they just haven't been consistent enough, I think, to to be a playoff team. You've had moments. Congrats on the win over John Mateer without a thumb, but like, yeah, man, I think A&M's going to take care of business in this game moving forward. Didn't mean to turn it into a Texas thing.
No, I think it's a fair point.
The Aggies, I feel good about the Aggies, man. I think they get on the right side of the rivalry this weekend.
Yeah, man, I think the folks in Bryan College Station right now are like, this guy picked us for the national championship, and he's talking about Texas. Like, Kaiden, I think open arms for the good folks out there in 12th man country. What you said about Elko, though, I just want to circle back on that really quick before we move on to Georgia. He mentioned this in a press conference. I thought it was really interesting. The team in A&M this year seems to have a really unique ability to, when the offense isn't playing their best, just like you mentioned, the defense steps up. When the defense is having trouble in South Bend, the offense goes for over 40. Like, the fact they're able to almost self-heal, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost Superman-ish, where you could, put a metal rod through our shoulder, but we'll take that out, heal really quick, and Marshall will really go give you 300 through the air, and we'll find a way to get it done. That ability is what I think should scare people more than anything about A&M when it comes to postseason play, because they're going to always be able to shape-shift and meet whatever the opponent is bringing.
Yeah, they've done it all year, and the other thing about Elko, too, is when he said in the video we broke down the other day, what's the big halftime speech you gave, Mike? What'd you say to really inspire a team to go out there and play great against South Carolina and have that remarkable comeback? He's like, nothing crazy. Like, I'm just we put the work in this summer. He's like, we won that game in July. You know what I mean? Like, we put in the work to know that we can do what we do. So the fact that, too, like, he doesn't have to give a rah-rah speech to get his team to perform like that. They know who they are. They know what they did this offseason to put themselves in this position. Like, a team that's sure of themselves this time of the year is dangerous, too. And I think they definitely fall in that category for sure.